Once again, welcome to the weekly podcast that is called Shoot the Messenger. Thank you for joining us today. My name is AJ. Hello, this is
Kendra.
Kendra, short week yesterday, long week this week. You had a big week. We shot the show on Thursday last week. We're back at you with the normal time and channel. But you had a big week. You went down, and let's catch the people up real quick. You went down to your 10-year college reunion.
Yes, I went.
Yeah.
I was back in Nevada, Missouri, hanging out at Cody College for 10 years.
In all women's college. It's all women's, and that's the caveat we take away. How did it go? Was it fun?
It was amazing. It was the best, like a real sisterhood of people. When you're in a campus where you're surrounded by women and you are a woman, you really feel this camaraderie and this kind of trust in your fellow woman that you don't always get out in your day-to-day life. And it was nice to go back to that because it felt like a special place. It felt like it didn't change at all, but it also felt super... I felt
at
fulfilled.
home.
It felt great.
Like college.
They actually said,
I'm glad
welcome.
you had a good college experience. That's nice.
They actually did say welcome home.
There you go. Did it feel like home?
It did.
So they did the right thing. It's feeling kind of like home outside. Snow's melting. Billy Corgan, you know this song? 1979.
I've heard it once or twice.
Yeah, it's a good song. Here's him on a roller coaster. I liked how this goes. And,
Props. It's good. It's good.
It's Billy Corgan on a roller coaster. Well, we have a lot of topics today and a lot to get through. We'll start here from Australia. Good day, mate. Basically, Shoot the Messenger, we're kind of figuring out what it is, but it's basically all the things that maybe you missed throughout the week, topics that you might want to talk about or didn't get a chance to talk about. Now, we don't want to browbeat every single topic that has come through, right? We're kind of a filter. We're kind of like a catch-all of the weekly news.
Yeah, we're trying to show you the things that we found interesting this week, and
well, you can see the ticker. Obviously, there's the ticker that tells you. There's the show notes below that tell you everything that we did. And you have a good up speech, a ladder speech for us. Is that what they call it?
Well, it's elevator pitch.
Elevator pitch.
Yes.
How does it go?
So we are a variety show.
Yeah.
We talk about topical issues, and basically we cover the bad movie review every week. So typically I'll talk about a bad movie.
Not this week. We're not doing it.
Not this week. There's too much going on between the reunion and IPR this week.
So typically we do that. We talk about a little bit of Reddit.
There's always something going on the internet, so we talk about things that are on the internet via the Reddits, and then AJ typically talks about Elon Musk because he's always got something going on.
Something going on, just like me. Okay, so this is in Australia. Notice where the car's driving. He's on the bike lane here, right? It's a bike lane. Can I full screen it for you? There you go. Bike lane, driving bike lane. Got some choice words.
What's the point of us spending this money if you're not going to use it, you fucking dickheads?
Hey, pull over so I can have a chat.
Fuck off, you fucking idiot. Use the fucking bike track, you dumb cunt.
There you go, you dumb cunt. Use their fucking bike. So he's driving on the bike lane, obviously, and the bikers are on the road. Good payback, right?
Well, you would think.
Yeah, good payback. I shouldn't tell you the punchline of these things because it ruins the whole thing. Because me and Kendra went through the stories, so she knows. The catch-22 to this story is that the bikers, these guys right here, they're cops. They're cops.
What's the point of us spending this money if you're not going to use it, you fucking dickheads?
Hey, pull over so I can have a chat.
He says, pull over so we can have a chat, because he's a fucking cop. So sometimes people get pissed, but, should the cops be driving in the street anyway, huh?
I mean, I can't help but wonder if there's not laws about the fact that if you're a police officer, you're supposed to be patrolling on the roads. And so that's why they're on the road instead of the bike lane, ?
Oh, man. It just shows you can't cast stones. You can't cast stones. You look like an idiot. That's why one of the cyclists wanted to pull over. He eventually handed himself into the police. He's been issued a court attendance and noticed a number of offenses, including using his mobile phone while driving, offensive language, and for driving on the path itself. Can you believe it?
I mean, it feels like justice, but obviously it wasn't.
Why not?
Well,
that is justice.
No,
he got his just desserts.
When he was driving on the bike trail, I mean, he felt like he was proving a point.
When you first see this, it's like, oh, yeah, he's got it right. Yeah, fuck you fucking cunts. Oh, those are police officers. Yeah, they can do what they want. They can do what they want, you fucking cunts. All right, so let's go on to the next topic here. Aussie yells, oh my gosh, Kendra, it's time for this week at Reddit. Yeah!
Already.
All right, this week in Reddit. First off, it's getting hot down south, and sometimes you have AC, right? Works. AC good?
Theoretically, yeah, that's a requirement of the Southern homes.
Yeah, well, AC for your car, right? You ever
Okay.
have an old car, you don't have AC? This person finds a way around it in the South. Can I go full screen? Can I go full screen? There they go. See? You can see they found a way around it by, I guess they were on the 45, by riding on the hood of the car. Can you imagine?
Yeah, no.
Can you imagine?
That seems dangerous, folks.
I think they're filming too. They got their iPhone out too. That is just dumb right now. But that's from around the Reddit right now. That's from bro. But let's get into something a little more serious. Recent scientific breakthroughs. What are some recent scientific breakthroughs? You know, where are we at in science?
Well,
You know, what are the things that are happening that you want to know about?
well, and maybe it's not getting the publicity that you'd like, too.
That's what I'm saying. Not
Wow.
enough attention. It came off today or this week in Reddit. Somebody saying microfragmentation. Microfragmentation. Do you know what that is?
I do not.
It's where they heal the coral, right? I think they kind of
okay.
before they were taking concrete and just kind of piecing it together, these little bits of coral, and make it grow. But it speeds up the process. It's all done in 3 years. Something that normally takes 25 to 30 years. So look into that. We'll leave this link in the description below, but it had 56,000 upvotes. Some scientific breakthroughs. Did you read through this? Did you find any that
I
you
did.
liked? What did you like? I don't want to take
the
them.
one right after that actually was about schizophrenia and healing it through a bone marrow transplant.
Okay,
Now
so
they said it could be a fluke, that it might have happened just in this one guy. So it's really hard to say that, like based on one case study, that it's scientific evidence that you could heal schizophrenia through this. But they did say that he had schizophrenia. He ended up with cancer, and so they gave him a bone marrow transplant, and the delusions went away.
So yeah, what makes you live? Is it in the bone marrow? Is it in, is it in your heart? Is it in your brain?
Is it in the limbic system?
Yeah, I know. So what makes you? I mean, schizophrenic, obviously, if you take the schizophrenic out of a schizophrenia person, obviously it kind of changes who they are a little bit, might be, yeah?
Well,
A little bit of a
one could
personality shift. You take the schizo out of the schizophrenic, right?
One
I'm not using that as a derogatory term, but
one
the
could
short
say
version.
that it's, if anything, they're returning back to who they were. That the schizophrenia changed them, and by
I like
getting
that
rid of
argument.
it returns them to who they are.
By the way, I didn't mean that as a derogatory term. Anybody who's offended. If you want to feel better about yourself, look at my hair. I've been eating it a lot now. It's something I've never had my hair this long in my life, and every time I go in, bam, I'll be eating food and not looking, and just hair right in the mouth. I didn't realize you've probably had this problem before in your life.
Wait until it gets so long that it gets stuck in your armpits.
I'm not going that long.
That's
Kendra.
not fun.
What
Or
the hell?
I know of girls that like have sat on their
What do I
hair
mean,
when they
like-
go to the bathroom. That's a nightmare. That's
not-
a nightmare problem.
I'm not in Led Zeppelin. So let's go. I think there will be a limit to my hair. I'm about to get it cut, but we have rehearsals this weekend for the gala tomorrow. I'm going to talk to the guy. Be like, what did you have in mind for me? Do you want me to cut my hair, shave my face?
What are you
I'll friggin' do it. But
playing an old timey man with some facial hair?
what if they have
What do you
plans for
want?
a long-haired individual? I don't know. Okay, a cure for celiac disease also mentioned in this Reddit post of great scientific breakthroughs. I don't want to go too deep into them because I'm not a scientist. You can read about them yourself, but I think these are good for just a quick. Go ahead.
And it's a good reminder, really, that scientific breakthroughs are happening, and there's reason to have hope.
I didn't realize when you got an MRI, you sat in there for hours.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had an MRI done. Have you?
No, I've not.
For hours. And now I guess they can do it in 70 seconds because of Swedish researchers who did coding magic. So there you go. They're going to roll it out to the world in a couple of years, right? 70-second MRI scans. Probably easier if you're not getting doused with radiation waves and stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and they say that you have to stand completely still that entire time too, or else it ruins the read.
Ooh.
So yeah.
This guy did it stoned. He was a study of THC and anxiety. Oh, they made him look at disturbing images and rate it. Wow, what a study. Ooh, crazy. Anyway, we'll leave the link in the image below. We're going to keep this show moving. Background today. Last week was Mars. This week is the Earth.
Home sweet home.
It is home sweet home. And speaking of home, evidently, there's a problem with home costs. 70% of Americans in the country cannot afford a home. What does that mean to not be able to afford a home, And nobody can really put a down like buy a home outright.
Well, and that's part of what they're saying.
Mark.
You know, really the study was focusing on a lot of large cities that I'm sure nobody was surprised about. They took a look at, 473 U.S. counties, including San Diego, Los Angeles, Maricopa, Miami-Dade. So a lot of large cities. But I don't think that changes the problem that is really like a widespread one where housing costs is just high, like nationwide. I mean, even though it was looking specifically at large cities, there's just this kind of reoccurring pattern of housing prices being larger than what people can afford. I mean,
so why is this the case? I mean, you worked a lot in housing, a lot with people that couldn't get housing, even in rural communities, which is probably the cheapest you can get out of anything, correct?
Well, I mean, it just comes down to affordability. I mean, there are people that just can't afford, a house.
So when you talk to these people who couldn't afford a house, what did you see were the main contributors to this? Was it addiction? Was it poverty, or was it just a hard shake in life?
Well, a large percentage had some sort of disability. So they were receiving, typically they had some kind of medical condition that made it unable for them to work. Sometimes it was cancer. Sometimes it was multiple sclerosis or other like major medical problems. And because they couldn't work, they were just getting a disability check. And that's actually kind of lower than people think it is. People think that, money from the government, you're getting a lot. Like, you're getting less than $1,000 a month depending upon how long you work.
And that's a good check or what?
No, that's that's the average.
Average is about $1,000 a month. It's real tough to live on $1,050 a month, no matter what you're doing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so it just wasn't very much. I mean, when you think about the medium home value in Michigan, it's $151,000. Now, if you break that down, they really recommend that you have 15% of your down payment before you try to purchase a house.
Did we do the math on that?
That's like $15,000.
Of $150,000?
Yeah.
Well, that's 10%.
Okay.
So that'd be like $20,000.
Yeah. So I don't have just $20,000 sitting around, and that's what they really recommend you have just to start before you even start thinking about payments or anything like that.
What do we want? How would you say 15?
15%.
15%. I'm sorry. That'd be 0.15. Okay, so it's $22,000. 22.5.
So
yeah.
So I mean, you're looking in some cases you're looking at
22.5 down.
You got to have like a yearly wage down before you could think about payments. Now,
That's shitty. I'm not trying to get paid $22,500 a year.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really what I keep saying it's what they recommend because it is possible to buy houses for less than that, but you're putting yourself at risk of putting yourself in a debt hole you can't climb out of.
They're saying it's going to be a buyer's market. Wait a little bit longer. They say if you want to buy a house, it's starting to be a buyer's market. You might see some prices drop, but it's somebody who's going to watch the prices.
Depends on where you're at, because in Michigan they're thinking that it's going to go up another 5% this next year, and it's already increased by 8% this last year. So.
Oh. I thought they said it was this buyer's market. Read the article for yourself. You come up with it. Leave a message in the comments. Give us an email. I know you won't. That's why I give you that challenge. All right, Mackenzie Bezos. She's going to be looking at some cheaper prices. Everything's going to be cheaper in her eyes. Sure. Getting a divorce. Now, we talked about it, 50-50 split. I mean, Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, getting a divorce. And now we find out how much she's actually going to receive in the divorce because Jeff was flying out his mistress to his private island, so they said. And now divorce time is pretty amicable. They're nice to each other. And he's excited for her, but she's going to get some stocks and she's going to get some money, right?
$35 billion after receiving a quarter of the Amazon shares.
Billion.
Yeah. And so apparently that's going to be 4% of a stake in Amazon.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
She's going to be the 23rd richest person in the world.
Okay.
So not just like top, richest women, but like 23rd richest person in general because of this. So
so the L'Oreal heiress is the richest woman in the world. Okay, I'm looking.
Yep. And then the second wealthiest woman is the daughter of Walmart's founder.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, no kidding.
Yep. And then third place is the co-owner of the Mars company.
Okay, and then it's going to be Miss Bezos here.
Yes, it is.
Who also has stock in Amazon, and that's probably going to continue to rise as well.
I'm sure.
Right.
As long as the company continues to see growth, which I don't think Amazon's going anywhere.
How do you like that? Do you think she'll step and have her own platform in the future, or will she kind of be in the shadows? Do you think she's gonna take this and make a name for herself? Oh shoot, I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
Well, I really think that this is where we find out what her character is, and if she wants to go on to continue to build more, then we'll get the opportunity to see that. And if not, she'll just be the ex-wife of a rich man.
Okay, well, time will tell.
Challenge.
Time
yes.
will tell. Powerful women. And you know what? Times are changing. Women are going to space. But this week, we saw the debacle of the not enough suits. Even Hillary Clinton herself chiming in. Not enough. Make another suit, NASA.
Well,
because did we touch on this last week? We did it.
We did not.
Okay, so basically, they didn't have enough medium suits for the women. It was going to be an all-woman spacewalk on the ISS, right? The very first all-women outside doing repairs to the International Space Station.
It was supposed to be Christina Koch and Anne McLean.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to take this walk on March 29th, but and it's not that they didn't have enough suits.
What is it?
Okay,
what do you mean?
So one of the women could fit into a medium and a large, because apparently when you go into space, you get bigger.
You grow.
And she did indeed grow 2 inches.
That's
she has
the
grown.
number one reason why I want to go to space. Just get a little bit taller.
So, but it didn't matter because she still only fit into the medium torso. So, they needed one of the women to fit into the large, because although they do have 2 medium torsos, because apparently it's not that the suit is the wrong size, because there are different pieces. You piece them all together.
Yeah, there's like 32 pieces to a suit, right?
Yeah, but they both needed the one medium torso. Now, there is a second medium torso, but it would take 12 hours for them to prepare that.
Yeah, it's on the space station already. So preparing it and getting ready for the spacewalk, it's just so much easier to just get another person. Now, I want to know, now you read through this and you did it. You're a little upset when you heard about it. Are you still upset about this whole thing being a woman?
Yes, I'm still upset.
And as a guy, I don't get it, right? I'm
well,
clueless.
Good for you. You've had lots of all men spacewalks.
All right. You don't need to turn off every single guy that's listening to this.
Well,
but
but
I want
I
you to make a case for yourself. And I want you to say, why is this an injustice for women, or why are you concerned about it, or how are your feelings? I just want to listen for a minute.
I have lots of complex feelings about this because, like I just said, the obvious thing is men have had lots of opportunities for all men spacewalks. So, I mean, I know that that's a weak argument and it's really not much to stand on, but let's just start there and get that off the plate.
Okay.
Now, the second thing that's concerning to me is that they highly, I don't think NASA purposefully highly publicized this event, but when it hit the news, it kind of got embraced, and I think NASA was short-sighted in thinking that people wouldn't embrace that concept, and they probably should have double-checked that everything was ready before that hit the press. And then my third concern is also, it's a safety concern as well. So wait, you're telling me that there's a possibility that women don't have the equipment they need for safety reasons as well. So let's say we've got multiple women up there. They have to use that medium spacesuit, but they only have an hour. Well, too bad, you're going to be in an ill-fitting spacesuit, theoretically, if it's all women up there. Now, NASA did end this rebuttal by talking about the fact that there will be an all-women spacewalk eventually, with more and more astronaut classes embracing women. Apparently, the class that McLean and Koch graduated with was actually 50% women. So there will be an all-female spacewalk eventually. But, now my concern comes down to safety.
My concern is the whole, they take the best person for the job, and that's the deal. And when something like this happens, everybody gets their hopes up, and it's more emotion than it is logic. You want to be offended, you want to hate it. I think the time will come. I think it's just a patience thing. But you just said it's
the best person for the job. And really, it was about the equipment available. It wasn't about the best person. It was about the equipment that was available.
Best person for the job with this equipment, So, it's a learning, it's a stepping stone. I mean, it's just like, hey, we need to get another suit, obviously. So I hope in the future they do make another suit, but they do cost like $300 million to make or something like that, right? The suits themselves.
Well,
and they've been using the same suits for years. These are the same suits. They ain't been making new suits.
And my safety concerns stand.
right.
You know, if more and more women are becoming astronauts and there's not enough equipment to properly make sure that our female scientists are safe, then this was a valuable lesson for NASA.
Well, that's why they didn't send her, because it wasn't safe.
Well, then, but still, if
You're
they're
like
saying
Hillary, make another suit.
They're saying if they expect more women astronauts, then they need to prepare for it. Is
They
what
should.
I'm saying.
And I think it's a learning experience for everyone. I don't think it's worth getting upset about. I just think it's like, yeah, okay, they realized it immediately. Like, oh, this is a kink in the system. Let's work out the kink. Everybody cool? All right, cool. We're working out kinks together. High five. Gender high five.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I think more kinks will be on the way. And, you know, it's not easy being a man these days, but we're going to keep on being men. And here we go. NASA. Talking about plants. I've been watering the plants around the house quite a bit now.
Therapeutic, isn't it?
It's good. They give back. They were dying under your care, so I took over care.
Well, I mean, I've been a bit busy. I'm sorry,
And
guys.
I wondered, what is the best plant to have around the house? And since we're on the topic of NASA, look, I'm going to put this link in the description below. You can go ahead and like it. But and look at it, and when you're buying house plants, these are the ones that are going to benefit you the most, benefit your air the most, clean it the most. So pick up some of these plants in your spring buying section. Things like the Boston fern, the Kimberly Queen fern, the spider plant. And some of these are just fun to say. The weeping fig. Yeah, I got a couple weeping figs. Crying bitches.
Well, you know, we actually do have the devil's ivy, our plant that goes up around
I know.
the window.
I resuscitated each and every one of them.
That
I
is
brought 'em back.
the devil's ivy. So we definitely have that. Now,
I tell you what, the dead plants bounce back. By the way, right? And you told me that, like, hey, just water them; they'll bounce back.
Yeah, that's what my science teacher told us. Is like always just water them; they'll come right back.
Okay, what were you gonna say?
Now, it is keep in mind when you're picking out plants that not all plants are pet friendly. So some plants are toxic to cats and dogs and other pets. So make sure that you check the safety before you get them if you are a pet lover.
No, we had a dog that would bite a spider plant and chew on it, and he had seizures because of it. And we didn't know what it was coming from, and we thought it was cute. He was playing with the leaves. He was having seizures. It was a poisonous plant.
Yeah.
And it had like, white on the vines. It was very poisonous for them to eat. Yes?
Exactly. So be careful, if you're getting a plant.
Do you know how much space we have in today's news? Let's keep going. Are you ready to push on?
I'm ready.
Okay. NASA held a contest for best home to build on the red planet, right? Designing. Because when you're living on the red planet, you want to, still look good, right?
Well, nice place to live.
You want a nice place to live. Now, the early ones are pods, but they had 3 people come with their designs, and I'll keep this up and running. Life on the big planet, not far away, maybe as early as 2030, 2022, 2020, we're going to be dropping stuff. We're launching things for the Mars mission. NASA has plans. SpaceX has plans. This is the winning design. It's like a 4-story, and it blocks a lot of the UV lighting. I also saw one from NASA today where they put 3D printers that just kind of build, they use the surface rock to build a layer, and then they have bubbles underneath it. And the rock layer will block radiation.
Oh, smart.
Much like this tall design here will block radiation. But it's interesting to think how we're going to survive on a new planet as well. I mean, harsh conditions on Earth, you go 40 miles any direction, and if you're living on your own, it gets pretty wilderness, and that's on our planet.
Yeah, but at least we can breathe the air, though. You go outside, or some emergency were to happen, you'd be in a real pickle.
Yeah, I would want and they have plans for multiple life support systems. But pretty interesting to see these designs brought forth in 3D, and just to think about what people, how the designers are thinking about how we're going to live on the red planet somewhere down the line. Yeah. I thought it was interesting, and we like space here on the show. Yeah. We have a lot of space for you. Make sure you give us a like, follow us on Twitter, Facebook. No, we don't have Facebook. We have a YouTube. We have a website, shootthemessenger.net.
We have a Patreon, Shoot the Messenger. We've got we're on iTunes, Spotify. You can find us on YouTube, as AJ said. So to get the visual experience of the podcast.
Get the full vision, because we're here. This shirt looks wrinkly, but actually that's the way it's made. Kendra put on some makeup for you. That's fine. And, she works at NPR, so that's pretty good. Let's get into Elon Musk. What do you say?
Let's.
Okay. Sheryl Crow used to date Lance Armstrong, I think. She had problems with her Elon Musk car. Her Tesla.
Tesla?
She got a Tesla. She got a Model 3, bare bones, super cheap. And her screen went out, so she tweeted, help, who knows what to do when your Tesla screen goes black and the rest doesn't work. Return it, get your money back? Should I return my Tesla? Elon Musk says, hey, he tweeted back, clap back. Change your screen preference from night mode to auto. And he said, hey, when it's on night mode and it's daytime, you can't read it. It's our design fault. We're going to fix it in the next update. That's pretty
Perfect.
cool. That's responsive feedback right there, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he knows the problem. He's able to not only give her an answer, but say, hey, this is a problem we're not going to fix just for you, but like everybody.
See, that's cool. He's using modern day social media to communicate with people. Cheryl Crow even says, problem solved. Loved all your creative responses. Best one was suggesting my kids take a look. You know, anyway, they were the ones who actually turned that setting on. So she got everything fixed and she's fine. But I thought that was a pretty cool Twitter story. But Elon Musk shouldn't be on Twitter. Elon Musk shouldn't be on Twitter. He shouldn't be tweeting back.
Oh, he's allowed to tweet, just not his opinions.
Not according to the SEC.
Neither celebrity status nor reputation as a technological innovator provide an exemption from the federal securities laws.
That's right. The SEC is coming at him. But the judge says, hey, take 2 weeks, figure it out, and put your reasonableness pants on. Of course, we've put him on leg by leg.
Yep.
Now, we've talked about this in the past. The SEC was mad about his tweets saying that they're going to make more cars. They're going to make 500,000 cars in a year, you know, compared to where they were. And this makes the stock prices jump or fall. So the SEC got in the middle of it. And the judge says, hey, use your best. Let's be big boys about it. Let's work something out. We don't need to be going to court about it. Isn't that crazy?
Basically, yeah.
The female judge, pretty responsive, pretty nice level head. Elon says, I like the judge. Elon says, I like the judge a lot.
Well, and I mean, it really
it's
feels
Nathan.
like...
I'm sorry. It's a male judge. Go ahead.
It feels like the judge is kind of siding, not necessarily siding with Musk, but rather just kind of saying like, this is not a problem for me to be dealing with. As a judge, there are better things that I should be addressing than your social media presence, which I appreciate as well.
And he says he's staying true to shareholders there. So we have all that brought to you by CNN. Of course, the SEC case continues. We'll continue to follow that. But Elon's been hopping around, hopping around here and there. SpaceX, Tesla. Now we're back to SpaceX. A little more Elon. The Star prototype hopper, they call it, did a hop this week. They hopped it.
Hopped too?
They hopped it. Now, the Raptor engine in this thing is as big as a truck, okay? The engine itself. It's the biggest engine they've had. Now, the nearby people that live in the area have had their roads closed down. They said they're going to close down the road maybe once a month. It's been closed down for consecutive days. So they're closing down the roads more than normal. And they said that this engine is like 10 times louder than any of the previous engines that they've had. The sheer magnitude force behind this freaking thing and the loudness that it creates. So like it was 10 times louder, shaking the windows. They're like, this sounded like there was a jumbo jet right over my head. They say it gets real pretty fast.
Well, this is the...
I can't wait to see it in action.
No, this is the one that's supposed to go to Mars.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's going to have the power to get there. 6 miles, they say it shook windows for.
Wow, yeah. So it's going to be big. They let it go at night, so there's not good video of it moving around yet. Maybe we'll get some in the future. And when we do, that we'll post it right here. And that was that This Week in Reddit? Well, there was more stuff going on there. That was the latest from Elon Musk and SpaceX. Now, you have Netflix, right?
I do.
Have you heard the latest on the Fire Festival?
Well, no.
Well, okay, so the Fire Festival... Well, you saw the documentary on the Fire Festival, right?
Yeah,
a lot of people have
course.
seen it. There's 2 documentaries on the Fire Festival. It was a music festival in the Bahamas set for the incredibly rich that would fly down, have a good time.
It was supposed to be like on a private island, and then the logistics weren't quite right, so they moved it to the big island, but it was still a nightmare. So,
and this week, being at the 1st of April 1st, that is, April Fool's Day, Fire Festival 2 released on the Chive, but also they had a joke about it, but also not joking, this Miami Ultra Music Festival being called Fire 2 Festival. Okay, so what happened was, I think the concert went well, but at the end of it, people were stranded and they were left walking for miles and miles and miles. How many? Like 10, 20 miles, something like that. They were just stranded out in the middle. I think 3. It was 3.
It wouldn't
3
have been
miles.
10 miles.
3 miles, Kendra. 3 miles, which isn't that far at all.
No.
Andy King was there. He was in the first Fire Festival. Now, if you watch the documentary, he was the one who said he was going to suck dick for water. So funny enough, he pushed his loving touch on this festival, and there was a debacle. So anywhere Andy King goes, just a great. If you haven't seen it, where Andy King says he's about to suck dick for water.
I mean, the documentary did a good job of really covering him talking about that. But like, I love how Andy is joking about, he's kind of embracing who he is and being like, I'm taking notes, first festival. You know, knowing that self-deprecation is the best humor.
Yeah. And let me see. I have some videos here of actually what happened at the Fire Festival too that they're calling Ultra. Let me go ahead and full screen that.
Just a nice relaxing walk after raging.
To me, that ain't so bad. I mean, you're outside, you're getting a nice walk after a long night of drinking. Let me see if it gets worse here. Evidently, a tree lit on fire at some point. Okay, you can see people sitting down here on the side of the road, right? This is during the walk. Now, it's like a long island where they had to walk. Here's one more. Here's where the tree lit on fire. Some people just can't maintain. See,
I'm very crazy.
you know, but everybody's there's a lot of lights. Some of the pyrotechnics lit it on fire. This guy says they're waiting for the buses. What happened is they hired 200 buses to pick up people, and then they didn't come. So you have these people waiting for buses, and you see the city, Miami.
Jesus Christ, Ultra, get your fucking shit together.
See, that guy's really not pissed. Jesus Christ, Ultra. So I had to look at the map. I'm like, okay, well,
yeah,
I need to see this thing. Yeah. What are they dealing with?
Get a nice overview.
Here's your map right here. Okay, Virginia Key, they're over here.
All right.
Right? And that's where the little festival was. So basically, they had to just walk and then walk across this little bridge and into the city. That's it's 3 miles. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I've walked that far after a night of bar hopping. Yeah.
Yeah, just say it. You were boozing, Kendra.
Bar hopping.
Anyway,
the bar hop.
The city of Miami, they say, you know, it's not the right place for it to be, but they say it's too big for Virginia Key.
Well, and that's why they moved it originally, right?
Yeah. I say kids relax. I mean, that isn't even that far. You know? Mm-hmm. Let's see these. See, they're like doing what it is, it's a 5K.
Look at this shit.
It's a 5K.
Nice little
it's an after festival 5K. Sometimes after the festivals, I get a little energy, you know what I'm saying? I got to burn it up. Been drinking energy drinks all night. Just kind of like, you know?
Nice little boost to run after.
Yeah, why not? Anyway, I thought this was interesting. With summer coming up, the way this sand dune breaks apart, a little palate cleanse. We've been talking about a lot. Sometimes you just have to let the sand of time do its thing. Pretty incredible. Chain reaction. What do you get from this?
This is oddly satisfying. And I was looking at the comments for this earlier, and everybody was complaining about how the guy...
Right here. He does it. It's almost to the top, right? It's going up.
Pans away.
Later.
And so the first 2 comments were people posting the video where you actually get to see it go to the top.
This is in the Sahara Desert, I do believe. But that's pretty nice. That's pretty good sand right there. You know, I used to play in the dunes of Michigan.
I mean...
Have you ever played in the dunes of Michigan?
Of course I have.
I've ridden 4-wheelers and stuff. I don't know. I like the sand here in Michigan. I think it's a nice sand. That's pretty good sand there
It does
too.
look really nice there as well. It looks like a little darker, though, than the sand in Michigan.
Okay, so we have an ad playing in the background. I want to continue. That was a great palate cleanse. You can check out everything that we do in the links below.
You have a cool idea.
For you. This guy wants to sell me some stuff, but I'm not going to let him because our next video has to do with history. And I thought this was so interesting. United States Army, one of the variable forces in the world, right? The history...
Largest military in the world right now.
Yeah, the history of the United States uniforms. 400-year evolution of the United States Army uniform. And it's just really, really cool to see the progression, right? This is from where we started, right? Go ahead.
What's so cool about clothing when you really think about it is it wasn't until about 100 years ago that clothing was factory made. So it used to be that a seamstress, you were meeting with a seamstress, and she would measure you and she would design the clothes for you. So theoretically, every single one of these pieces would be created for you to fit your body right.
Get the fuck out. Really?
Yes.
Nice.
And that's why it was so expensive to have clothing.
That's why they look so damn good.
As well. Yeah, it was fitted for your body. It was created to fit your body and flatter your body as well, which fashion just doesn't do that anymore.
Okay, so I'm not going to play the whole video because it is like 13 minutes long, but any favorites from this?
Well, I'm a big fan of the accessories of any uniform. When I auditioned for the Renaissance Festival, the director or maestro, I guess, he actually encouraged. He said, make sure that you have lots of colors because it's more interesting.
I think this
to
is
look
the worst
at.
one, by the way. Go ahead.
And then he said
Lots of
also
colors.
lots of colors. Don't, he said people think they want to do an all black Renaissance Festival costume, but it looks boring. And then the other thing is that because you didn't have bag or you didn't have a purse, you just put everything on your belt. So looking at the accessories for the different military uniforms reminds me a lot of how you just keep your water canteen on your belt.
Okay, so what was your favorite one?
I don't
Come
have
on.
a favorite.
Come on, that was the question. Pick
Well,
one.
no, you asked what my favorite thing about the uniforms.
Okay, what was your favorite year? I want you to pick a I got a favorite. You want me to show you?
Yes, what's your favorite?
My favorite is like the South Pacific stuff. See, you got the World War I Doughboy, which is that's pretty cool looking. But I like the South Pacifics. That's the 29th Division. Looking awesome. Grenada. See, I'm already past
Panama.
it. I'm already past it. I didn't get. Where is it? Pacific Theater. There it is. I think that's the coolest one.
I mean, that looks classic Army man uniform.
Probably
right there.
Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan brought that up. But doesn't that? I mean, look at all the pockets though. I mean, that's you.
yeah.
You can carry some shit.
Yep, it's pretty
I
good.
liked it. Anyway, go through that. Pretty interesting video. I love the history, and if you've served in the Army, God bless you. Thank you for your service.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank
that. Okay, students or scam artists, you decide. The latest from Oregon. 2 Oregon students returned thousands of fake iPhones costing Apple $900,000.
Oh man,
The students were from China.
They were, and they happened to have some kind of connection to the black market over there, like a fake iPhone. So basically, what happened was they had a bunch of fake iPhones with them, and they went to Apple and were like, "These iPhones don't work." And so
Wow.
Apple gave them a refund, and that is how the fraud happened, friends.
Wow. So yeah, a couple of students. Now, do you think this is a Chinese conspiracy, or do you think it's just a couple Chinese kids trying to make some money?
Oh, just kids making money.
Yeah.
How is this any different than some idiot dealing drugs on their college campus? Or selling papers for money. It's an illegal activity that a budding adult would do, not like thinking like, oh, this isn't going to hurt anybody.
Are you kidding me? 3,069 phone returns. Of course, he thought at some point he was ripping them off for $900,000. iPhone warranty claims. 100% of those alleged the phone power wouldn't turn on. There you go. Submission of an iPhone that will not turn on is critical to perpetuating an iPhone warranty fraud, as the phone will not be immediately examined or repaired by Apple technicians, triggering the Apple phone replacement process as part of the product warranty process or policy, that is. So there you go. 3,000 warranty claims, $900,000. You ever have a good idea that you're like, man, I can make a lot of money, but you didn't follow through on it, obviously. But like, Jesus, people do this.
I'm not that creative to come up with a good way to scam people.
One time, those RIP tickets. Have you ever been to a fair where you just have tickets that you pull back and it's kind of like, did you win or not? A lady left a stack of those on the thing. And as a kid, I walked up to them and they were just sitting there in front of me. And she's got her back turned and I'm looking at the tickets and they're expensive. They're like $1 a piece, but there's a whole stack of them. And I put my hand up, and as I put my hand up, she realizes that she doesn't have them. She turns around and she looks at me and I'm like, ugh! I was like, whoa, idiot. Why would I try?
Well,
I feel like Indiana Jones and like, oh yeah. But I didn't take any.
You were lucky.
But the person didn't trust me anymore either. She's
not.
like, I got my eye on you. And speaking of having your eyes on something, our last story of the day, you're never too old to be a motherfucking ninja.
True that, yo.
That's right. Japanese police arrest a 74-year-old ninja thief suspect. The reason why? Because the ninja said he was too old to be doing this shit anymore. He had never been caught.
Correct. They think he was the ninja of Hansei. And thought to have carried out more than 250 break-ins, charged with the thefts of more than 30 million yen or $260,000.
Yes. And he would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those mangy kids. He said he would have got away with it, or has gotten away with it, but now he's just too old. It's the ninja that grew old, sadly to say, and he's giving it up now. He's like, I'm done.
Well, a senior official in the Western Japanese city of Osaka said he was dressed in all black, just like a ninja.
I like it. And going around from house to house. But that's really, really cool. And he says he's not going to do it anymore. So he's done being a ninja, looking
Time
into
for
it.
retirement.
And that's from BBC. How's NPR, Kendra? Is it fun?
It's lots of fun. The people there have been really, really wonderful. The environment is really great. I don't know what it is so much like about public radio that it creates such a wonderful environment, but everybody just seems like they're in a good mood. I'm in the honeymoon phase, and it's just really nice over there. And the studio is beautiful, and everyone's really friendly, and it's just been great. I've just been on cloud nine every single day.
Good.
So I'm having lots of fun over at the public radio. I feel surrounded by arts and culture, and
good. You can stop there.
I mean,
I'm just
I will go on.
Yeah, I know you will.
I'm all pumped
I got
up.
you.
Like between Cotty and IPR and everything else, I'm like rip raring, like full of stuff to say.
And next week we'll be talking probably about the rehearsal process for our new show that we're doing, stage show that is. I also had an interview today or this week with a board of directors for directing a show that's near and dear to my heart called Title a Show. So those things may be on the horizon for us, and we'll try to bring you in a little bit more as we continue on. We're always adding to the show. We're always changing it up. So if you have an idea, please let us know what you think about it. And as for us, thank you for the support. Thank you for watching the show. My name is AJ here with Kendra. That's right. We love you, and you know what? Whatever it is you decide to do, wherever it is you decide to go, get it done and quit worrying about what other people think about you, right?
Preach.
Preach. Later. It's Shoot the Messenger.